have some big breaking news right now. The U.S. striking Iran as the two countries are in the middle of peace negotiations. And Scripps News senior White House correspondent Haley Bull literally just coming in here to tell us this breaking news. So, Haley, I know developments happening rapidly. What do we know right now?
Well, Maritza, the U.S. military says it is launching what it calls a series of, quote, powerful strikes against Iran. And these are in response to a series of vessels being hit earlier today in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command stating, quote, Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Some of those tankers hit earlier today, based on statements coming from Qatar, included a Saudi tanker as well as a Qatari tanker. Notably, Qatar has been a mediator in negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. This is another layer of the U.S. response to this. Earlier today, the administration also revoked a license that paved the way for the sale of Iranian oil. That was something that was previously waived following the reaching of a memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran, which officials had described as performance-based. A U.S. official telling us, quote, Iran will only reap benefits if they exhibit good behavior. Iran's actions in the Strait were wholly unacceptable to the United States and will be met with consequences. They also noted that negotiators were continuing to work towards a final deal. Now, whether those talks, the impact on these talks following this latest round of strikes remains to be seen. This is not the first time that the U.S. has launched strikes in the midst of these talks with Iran in response to aggression in the Strait. Notably, this week, those high-level talks and those technical talks were essentially paused as we saw the funeral for Iran's supreme leader being carried out. But at the same time, publicly, the Iranians have continued to try to double down on their view of control of the Strait that the U.S. and other allies have maintained is an international waterway.
So at this point, not clear how this might impact that memorandum of understanding agreement. I do want to ask, because the president declared this conflict is over. That's why he says he didn't need approval from Congress after 60 days. What does this mean for that discussion?
Well, that remains to be seen. Historically, what we have seen is that the U.S. has viewed this as responses to particular incidents of aggression. It is notable that in the statement from Central Command, they are calling this a clear violation of the ceasefire, which, of course, is part of the memorandum of understanding. So how the U.S. Views this after having already carried out strikes in a similar vein before remains to be seen. Historically, in these strikes, U.S. Central Command has focused on military targets. We are waiting to see what is specifically hit in this regard, and if Iran retaliates. Previously, they have retaliated on Middle Eastern partners in response to this. So it's very early. There are a lot of questions left to be answered right now.